In 1993, Capcom released a sequel to DuckTales on the NES called DuckTales 2. It was also ported to the Game Boy handheld system in Japan and North America at the end of that same year. It's a platform video game, and it follows the adventures of Scrooge McDuck. Now, going back and playing retro games on modern systems is what I want to talk about here, because I have old systems and, hooking them up to a CRT television or hooking them up to a modern television and finding HDMI adapters or going out and buying older games with the ridiculous prices of them today. I found that, yes, I'd rather play older games on original systems, but modern systems allow you to play retro video games. And sometimes you can play retro video games a whole lot better on those modern systems. So I want to focus in on some games that I think you should be checking out. I'm having a great time with, and this is one of them. This game is just a classic platformer. What really stood out to me with the original DuckTales, DuckTales 2 on the NES, and even this one, the remastered version of DuckTales 2, is the animation. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is the cartoon, playing it, watching it, and if you were around when DuckTales was on television, it was just one of those really great Saturday morning, Sunday morning cartoons that everyone watched, and this game stood out as one of the better platforming games when it was released in '93, and it still holds up today. Now this one is a big one, Sonic Adventure. If you owned a Dreamcast, this was the game to have. It was a wow moment back then on the Dreamcast. It was one of the best looking, if not the best looking 3D platformers ever. And I gotta be honest with you, going back and playing it today on a modern system is a great way to experience it, but man, I forgot how bad the camera was in this game. I mean, it is so bad. I fight this camera tooth and nail now, and I don't remember having a problem with it back then. Again, it's just one of those things where we didn't have anything better, so it was great. And years later, going back to it and playing it, I'm like, oh man, just give me control over that camera. One of those sort of mistakes, if you want to call it a mistake for Sega, one analog stick on the controller, no second analog stick to control the camera. It was a bit rough, and you do experience it, and it is a lot of fighting and cumbersome now to play it. But to be able to experience Sonic Adventure and remember that excitement around it, because this game, I'm telling you, this game was huge when it released. It was incredible. I mean, people were like, wow, look at this game, Dreamcast. And being able to play it in 2024 on a modern console, a little bit better frame rate, better looking graphics, it is just such a joy to be able to put this game in and relive those memories. If I had to hook up my Dreamcast, I have problems with the Dreamcast, the disc drive, get the HDMI adapter, get the copy of Sonic Adventure out. All I got to do is fire up my modern console, play the game. I get it. I say it all the time. Retro gamers go crazy. You got to play it on the original hardware. But I feel like modern retro is where I'm at right now. And I just love going back and playing this game. I'm telling you, this game was huge when it came out. I can't describe the feeling around Sonic Adventure. That one moment where you see Sonic running towards the camera and the giant killer whale is jumping behind him. People went bananas when we saw that. It was just an incredible experience. And I love to be able to go back and experience this game again. If you haven't played Sonic Adventure, if you're interested in 3D platformers at all, or this time period, you've got to play Sonic Adventure. Do not miss it. It is one of those games, even with the problems with the camera, it's one of those games that you've got to experience, because you can literally see the evolution of 3D platformers going forward from this game. They tried a lot. They tried to get Sonic into 3D, man. They did their best. It was a good game, and I just love being able to go back and experience it. The year 2000, if you weren't playing Perfect Dark on the N64, you were just not playing the greatest shooter in that generation. The first game of the Perfect Dark series follows Joanna Dark, an agent at the Carrington Institute Research Center, as she attempts to stop an extraterrestrial conspiracy by rival corporation Datadyne. There's a campaign mode. You complete levels to progress through the story, as well as a range of multiplayer options, including a cooperative mode and traditional deathmatch settings with computer-controlled bots. Guys, let me tell you, in 2000, The N64 was doing things that the PlayStation 1 just could not do. The PlayStation 1 was the more successful console. Everyone had one. I had one. Absolutely loved it. But when you look at just graphically what was happening on the N64 at the time, it was incredible. Now, this game had a core team of just 9 people. A core team. There were more people, but a core team of 9 people worked on this game. And I'm telling you, I remember seeing this game, people showing it to me back then. I was a hardcore PlayStation 1 guy, man. I was playing everything on the PlayStation 1. I absolutely loved it. I had my N64 and I'm like, wow, this is absolutely incredible. This game literally, I mean, I don't want to say it put first-person shooters on the map on console, because there's another game that did that, and it's not the one you're thinking of. I'll talk about that too, because that's in this video. But this game was amazing. I mean, the level design, and just the ability, the stealth mechanics, the gadgets, everything was just absolutely incredible. And that N64 was doing things back then, as I said, like the PlayStation 1 just couldn't do it. And people were like, it's an N64, it's for kids, it's cartridges, CDs are the future. And they were all correct. But if you had an N64 back then, I'm telling you, you were absolutely blown away by this. And I was. Perfect Dark is one of those games that is just iconic. It's classic. And now, with the rebirth of the game, Perfect Dark, coming out for the Xbox, I'd be interested to see if they stay true to the core mechanics. Now, like I said, if you have an N64, you got a copy of Perfect Dark, and you've got that N64 Trident controller, it was designed for that, which is why going back and playing this game in a modern way feels a bit rough, because you didn't have that second analog stick. That's the way to play it, I get it, but modern retro just feels really good. There's a lot of great versions of this game available to play on a lot of different systems, and I recommend you go back and you check out Perfect Dark. Let's talk about 1997. Final Fantasy VII, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Crash Bandicoot 2, Quake 2, Mega Man Legends, Riven, Tomb Raider 2. I mean, there were so many games that came out, and yet Nintendo 64, again, with GoldenEye, set the standard. It was one of those games, I remember seeing this game, and again, I was on the PlayStation when I had my N64, and as soon as I saw it, I just knew that there was nothing like this. It was absolutely incredible, and usually, games based on movies are absolutely terrible, but this one just completely blew me away. Now, Perfect Dark was the spiritual successor to this game. GoldenEye came out before, and I have to tell you, you have to go back and play these games, even if you played it before, because modern retro, and I love this idea of modern retro now, being able to play these games on a modern system. Maybe they upscale them a bit, maybe they play better, the frame rate's better, but I love the idea that the original vision is still here, so even though the textures look a bit better, it's still N64 design, and I love that. I love that I can go back, or you can go back and experience these games, and a lot of times they just play so much better than modern games. It's kind of sad in a way that we haven't really progressed. We have, but I mean, maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's just me wanting these old days back, but I just feel like some of these games just play so much better, and they're so much more fun. And this game, to me, I know I'll get flack for this, a lot of people say Halo sort of set the standard and proved that the shooter could be done on a console. Well, I think that in 1997, Rare did this with GoldenEye. I've been having a really great time going back and playing older games recently. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I have a lot more fun playing the older games, and getting my old systems and getting them to work, and getting the CRT and getting the HDMI, all this stuff, the adapters to get this stuff to work, and then having to deal with the ridiculous pricing of retro video games. I honestly feel like in order for someone to experience the past, it's a great way to do it with modern systems and modern retro. These games, stay true to the design aesthetics of the past. They give you a little bit better frame rate, better visuals. In some cases, like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, better controls. I know that's sacrilege. I love the Trident controller on the N64, and that stick, that analog stick, was very, very sensitive, but there's something to be said with, going way back then to the 90s, and then 2024, playing games from then until now. You just get used to modern controls, and sometimes it's hard for people to go back and play them on those retro systems, but I feel it's important to keep these games alive, and I love the fact that I can play these games in a modern way. These are some games that I think you guys should be checking out, and if there are others, let me know, because I want to experience all the games that I did in the past, and maybe I forgot some. I'm definitely going to go back and do some more videos with some games that I have. Let me know in the comment section below if you like playing these older games on modern systems, or, you know, if you have to run out and buy the N64 and find an N64 that works, and the notorious analog stick that gets loose over the years on that Trident controller. It's hard to find an N64 controller that just feels right. Or if playing them on a modern console is something that you enjoy. Thanks for watching this video. Do all that stuff that everybody says at the beginning of their videos that make me turn them off, like and subscribe and all that crap, and I'll see you in the next video.